All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snobs podcast. I'm your host, the Scene Snob himself, Mike Kimball. And normally I would have my second in command, Commander and Geek, Casey Plott, but he is out, unfortunately. He had a previous engagement, he couldn't make it this week, and I was sick, so it was kind of hard for us to get our schedules together. But I'm sort of on the mend, and I'm getting there. And I'm very happy that, and normally we record this podcast on Sunday nights, but because we were both sort of out of it and couldn't do it, it's been delayed by 2 days, and I'm very happy about that. I just wish Casey was here to talk to him about it, because there's a lot of geek news that came out, and one thing, I got to sit down and watch the premiere of Watchmen, and let me tell you, I freaking loved it. I love the first episode. I cannot wait to see where it goes. I didn't know that I needed a sequel to this. I was not too keen when they came out, Doomsday Clock sequel in the comics, but you know, I read them, but I kind of put it off to the side. I don't really look at that as a real sequel. This though, man, if you haven't seen it, please do go check it out. It's by show creator Damon Lindelof, who is one of the creators on the show Lost. And I was a fan of that show until the ending, of course, like everybody else. But man, I am excited for what he's doing here. This first show, from start to finish, just has you in its grips. And there's, I think, only one character so far they showed. Well, there's going to be some spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it or you don't care, if you haven't seen it and you do care, maybe tune in about 5 or 10 minutes. So, maybe not that long, we'll see. But I don't want to spoil anything for you. With that being said, spoilers over, here we go. There is Ozymandias, he is back. Of course, he faked his death. So he's, it's played by Jeremy Irons now. So the whole series is set 30 years later. The show starts out in 1921, and it starts with a silent movie with a hooded cowboy chasing after a corrupt sheriff, and a little boy is watching it. A little African American boy is watching it. That is central to the storyline, and the reason being is because it takes place in Tulsa in the riots in 1921, when the African American community in Tulsa was being attacked and straight up murdered. If you don't know the story, go check the history books, because this is a real deal. And they really were. They showed the relentlessness that I don't even think history books really shed a light on. And it was heartbreaking, to see it through the eyes of this child. But I digress a bit. So going back, he's watching a silent movie of Bass Reeves, who is actually, he is the Lone Ranger. That is who the Lone Ranger is based on. He was a real person. He was a real, I believe, marshal. He wasn't a bounty hunter. I know he was a lawman. He was like kind of a Lone Ranger type, who went out and fought the bad guys. Like he was legit. You should look him up too if you don't know him. But yeah, he is the basis of the Lone Ranger. And anyway, they made a silent film for it, and he's watching it, and it's sort of a way for his mother to distract him from all the chaos going on outside and everybody dying. So the boy's father comes in, grabs the mother, grabs his son, and they rush out into the chaos of the streets. I mean, there's people all over just getting killed and rioting and everything. It's crazy. And they make their way through. The father's dressed in a World War I U.S. soldier outfit, so I wonder if we're going to get more of a backstory there. But and they had their rifle, so we get. But anyway, again, I digress. We go back, and then they get to this car, and his family is there, and they're saying, "Not enough room." He's like, "Just take the boy." Leaves a note with him, says, "God watch over this boy," and they go. Well, the car is attacked on the way, and it flips, and everybody dies except for the baby that was in the car and the boy. And the boy takes the baby, and they start walking. That's last you see of them for now. Kind of motor through this because I don't want to stick on it too long, but flash forward to 2019, it now takes place after the alternate universe in Watchmen that Alan Moore has created, but it's still taking place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it seems very much that like since the events of the giant squid in New York, because it follows the graphic novel, it does not follow the movie. So if you haven't read the graphic novel, you should go check it out. Anyway, so now the cops are wearing masks. It's customary to hide their identity. And there's a group called the 7th Cavalry, which kind of models himself after Rorschach, which still in a way doesn't kind of make sense to me. I'm still kind of waiting to see where that comes from and why Rorschach is their, I don't know, who they model themselves after. I'm guessing because in their crazy way, it's the truth is what they're searching out, and and that's what Rorschach sort of brought to the table. Anyway, going forward, you have the main character is played by Regina Hall. She plays Sister Knight, who's a police officer, badass. Fights like hell. It's great. The fight scenes are choreography, and then they're great. You have Tim Blake Nelson plays another one of the police officers. He plays Looking Glass. You have Red Scare, which is another Russian dude who's in it. It's just very cool how they do it. Don Johnson's in it. He plays the chief of police. And everybody just did a great job. See, I don't want to get too much in the story because I don't want to give anything away. So, like, I'm not going to push it too hard. But I will say, like, they do have Ozymandias in it, played by Jeremy Irons. Like I said, he's in hiding, naturally, from the events of the graphic novel. And then they have what looks like... It looks like Louis Gossett Jr. is a grown version, an old man version of the little boy that we saw in the beginning, because he has the same note. But I don't know, but I'm kind of putting together that maybe he's playing Hooded Justice, who was the hero in like the 20s, or the first Minutemen leader. I'm anxious to see if that plays out, just because of the colors he's wearing. He's going to play a hero of some sort. Because he knows the identities of the police officers, things like that, and he knows too much, and I have a very strong feeling he's going to be, it's going to come up that he's Hooded Justice. But right now that's speculation. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to get into who lives and dies in this first episode, but it is pretty crazy how they play it out, and unexpected in a way. I really did not expect to see who dies in the episode. But going with it, you had like top-notch acting. Like, everybody was great in it. The story just seemed so interesting. I remember years ago, I think even before the movie had come out, before Zack Snyder took over the movie, there was talk of an HBO miniseries of the Watchmen, based on the graphic novel. And I didn't hear whether it went anywhere. I don't know. I think it was Frank Darabont who was, I'll have to look it up, but I think it was Frank Darabont who was the showrunner on it, and he was trying to get it made, or it might have been Frank Miller. I might be mixing up my Franks. And I remember thinking, even after I saw the movie, that this would have worked better as a miniseries. Now, I since feel like I am wrong, because after seeing the director's cut, I feel like the movie was so good. I did not like the theatrical version that I saw when it came out, but I did like the director's cut. It's 3.5 hours long, but they really hit it right. But I do not like that they changed the ending. I know it makes more sense in a way for today's world, like, in a lot of ways, but like, I kind of like the idea of like the giant squid and an alien attack. Not so much blaming Dr. Manhattan, but neither here nor there. I thought it was still a really good movie. And going on from that, I'm really excited to see what happens, because I know Gene Smart's going to play Laurie Blake in it, which is interesting. So that's Silk Spectre too. and so I'm anxious to see what happens with her. She plays an FBI agent in it, and I like that it's only sprinkled in some of the heroes. Like, you're probably not going to get anybody else, and I'm okay with that. Like, just sprinkle in some, like, who makes sense and what makes sense to the story. But I do encourage people to watch this if you haven't seen it. I mean, if you haven't read the graphic novel, definitely read it. It's a brilliant book. I'm staring at it right now on my shelf. I read it every 3 to 5 years, I would say. That's how much I love it. But anything Alan Moore, even his run in Swamp Thing, is amazing to me. But yeah, I say check that out. I don't think you need to watch it, or read the book rather, to watch the show. But it helps. It helps to know what's going on and what's happening. Like, I know when my wife watches this, eventually, like, we'll sit down, and she's going to have a lot of questions. So, like, I just think that, like, if you want to better prepare for it, probably watch or read a book, rather. I mean, you could watch the movie, too, but, I mean, it's such a great book. But anyway, that's about all I have on the Watchmen, because I really don't want to give up too much. It was so good, so beautiful looking too, and the music. Trent Reznor and Atticus. What's his name? Why is it? Early onset dementia. I have a feeling that's where this is going. Atticus Ross. That's right. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They nail it. Anything they do, any music they do for any movie, show, whatever, is always amazing. They are the best of the best right now, and it just have them do everything. I love it. But also, we got one of my favorite things is the Star Wars final trailer for the Rise of Skywalker, and it came out yesterday during Monday Night Football. And man, get excited! I don't know, like I think it has the fanfare. I know a lot of people are coming out with the C-3PO. He better not die, this, that, or the other. I get it, I do. But it's the last movie, and they really have. He was really, underutilized during the last two movies. You barely saw him. He was a helper to Leia. So if they're going to have him go out, and they're going to do it with a bang, go for it. I'm okay with it. He's been a part of the entire saga of the Skywalkers. Let him go out too. We've lost so much. It's okay with me. R2-D2 will go on. Hopefully. I mean, if they kill R2, that would be rough too. But I mean, it might be a beautiful scene of the two of them going out together. But don't even want to think about it. It's getting me all choked up. But so I know a lot of people are probably upset about that, and they have their reservations, and a lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi. I did. Now I get it. I know why I like The Last Jedi, because it was very much a Star Trek episode to me, and I dug it. I dug the slow crawl of having to try and stay just out of reach of them, and trying to kind of have to think their way out of it. And Luke kind of had to be pried back to help his friends. And a lot of people didn't like that Luke was in hiding, but why wouldn't he be? I just want to pose this question real quick, and please, comment and tell me I'm wrong, or tell me why I'm wrong, or what you think. I always love to read different views on everything. So, maybe I'm not thinking of it a certain way, but Obi-Wan was like a father figure to him. He went into hiding. He was in hiding for years and years. He met him as a hermit. He had to go search out Yoda, who was in hiding. All of these people who were so, it had such a deep effect in his life, went into hiding when something catastrophic happened. And that's what he knows. So, in The Last Jedi, for him to be in hiding, like, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Like, everybody's like, well, Luke would, come out and he would save his friends because his friends are most important. But if he feels like he is the one that causes the problems, he's not going to come out. And he's going to say they're better off without me. Like, I mean, he has so much confidence in, like, Leia and her leadership and everything else that I feel like, yeah, he's hiding it. He's saying to himself, Leia's got this. They don't need me. But, of course, you know, he had to be talked out of it, too. And that's why, you know, that's why I liked it. Maybe not take so long, but, again, I don't want to review The Last Jedi. They just had the Rise of Skywalker. I'm very interested to know what the Rise of Skywalker means. Is it going to be Ben Solo because he's got Skywalker blood in him coming out and become the ultimate Jedi? You know, join Rey, or is Rey going to become back? I'm excited. I'm excited to see where they go with this. The Emperor looks like he's back. It could be a Force dream. We don't know. It'll be interesting to see where this all goes. I'm excited. It looks pretty epic. Some very cool little Easter eggs going on there. What was it? I'll pull them up. But I thought seeing Ghost from Rebels with the ships was pretty cool. Yeah, you got a lot of looks, different new characters that they have coming out. It seems like there's going to be a lot of new characters, so that's the only thing that worries me a little bit is how all over the place is this already going to be. But, you know, I'm excited to see what happens. Lando's back. He's going to fly the Falcon. I'm cool with it. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the remains of the Death Star and everything else. And, you know, Force Awakens was good. I'm sorry, I like the Force Awakens. I know a lot of people had issues with it, but I didn't. I thought it was a good movie that brought us back. It was familiar. I think it needed to be familiar, and it worked. So I just want to, you know, I want to see where they take it. I want to see how they end the Skywalker saga. And I liked Episode 7. I liked Episode 8. I feel like just based off this trailer, I will like Episode 9. Although with that being said, like finales, they do get to me. So, you know, to see this saga that I have grown up on, has been in my life from the beginning, from the very beginning. You know, it's going to be crazy to see it end. And with basically, I don't think any of the characters that we loved. I mean, I think Leia will be in it for a little while, but I mean, we know she passed away, so it's crazy. It's almost like a weird passing of these past 3 episodes have been a passing of the torch to the new, but where does it go from there? And that's where I'm at, like, because they're done after this, so like, why pass the torch? But let's see what happens. Again, I'm excited. I'm keeping optimistic with everything. It's Star Wars. I love it. I just want to enjoy this movie, and I want to enjoy its epicness, because it has to be. It has to be an epic movie. They all are. You know, let's just face facts. They all are, with the exception of maybe, like I said, Last Jedi, which was felt more like a Star Trek episode than it did a Star Wars movie. But I still dug that, being a Star Trek fan. So now after that, like, I got to do something tonight that I was very happy with. Now, you may not know this. You know, if you follow me on social media, you'll probably definitely know that. Excuse me. I am a big fan of Halloween. Go all out. My wife, my kids, we're all huge fans of it. And my son, I have a stepson who's 7 years old, and I have a son who's 3. My son is finally at the year. It's finally there where he is able to watch these shows, like, and the perfect example is Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, which we watched tonight, and like kind of be aware and understand him, know the story, and laugh and go along with them. The previous years when we sit and watch him, he was a baby. Like, he was a little toddler, and then he was a baby before that, and he didn't get it. He didn't know. So, but, you know, it was great to watch it with my stepson. But, you know, it was cool to see my youngling, you know, my boy, finally start a tradition. You know, like a tradition where one day, hopefully, he's like, okay, kids, gather around. Let's get some snacks. Let's watch Charlie Brown. during Halloween and Christmas. And of course Garfield. I always have shown Garfield. But we sat down today, myself and the boys. We had some Cracker Jacks, had some fruit snacks. We had our waters and such, and we sat down and we watched It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That is essential Halloween viewing for me. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think that, anybody born in the last 40 years at least, this is essential. You have to watch it. I have a lot of essential Halloween viewing because I start this season in September 1st. So it's a solid 2 months of light through September, still enjoying summer, light Halloween, light horror movie watching. Like an overly horror movie watching. Like I have to kind of give a break throughout the year because my wife gets real tired of constant horror movies. I'll be watching Joe Bob when he's on. I'll be, it's like every Friday night, it's Joe Bob. Now I have Shudder. It's like I'm always flipping through Shudder TV. But she's like, I'm cool with all that, but you can't watch a horror movie every night. We got to watch other stuff. Got to mix it up. So, but she's so into Halloween, she's cool with it. So September is like a light. You can watch some horror. You can watch more horror movies than normal. And then October is like all bets are off. All right, go ahead, do what you got to do, and I love it. So appreciate that. Appreciate it, baby. Thank you. So my essential Halloween viewing, and I don't have a list written down, but this is just some of them. Of course, Charlie Brown, Garfield, Halloween. Who's not going to watch Halloween? And now, I need to watch. And this is usually closer to Halloween. I watch Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween 3. I usually wind up seeing them all because they show up on TV, but those are the three I have to watch. Love the first one. It's iconic. It's my favorite in the series. 2, I think, is one of the best sequels to a movie ever, let alone a horror movie. Picking up right where it left off and then just kind of continuing the hunt was amazing to me. I don't love the sister angle, and I'll get to that in a second, but then I love the third one. Third one gets a bad rap. And I think that's a lot of times that's just from people who are listening to hearsay, of the old days. Like, oh, it didn't do well, didn't have Michael Myers, blah, 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 blah. But horror fans love it. I don't think I've ever been a horror fan that didn't love Halloween 3. It's a good movie. It is a solid movie. Tom Atkins is awesome in it. I mean, who doesn't love Tom Atkins? Which kind of leads me to another one of my essentials, which is The Fog. You got to do it. But yeah, I got to watch the first 3 Halloweens, definitely. That's a must. That's essential. Everything else is not essential. That's essential. I don't know that Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one, the second one is dead to me, and I don't want to see it again. But I don't know that the first one is essential to me, but I do watch it every year. So I think it's, for me personally, it's becoming sort of essential. And last year's Halloween, 2018's Halloween, is essential. I will follow it up. I will watch Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3. Then I will jump over to last year's Halloween. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great in the way that they... Basically, Michael does not care about Laurie. This woman just spent 40 years of her life just thinking, like, this guy wants me dead, this guy wants me dead, this guy wants me dead, and I have to stop everything. And if it didn't somehow, like, her granddaughter, lead him to her, he would not have cared in the slightest. He would have just massacred people in the town till Halloween was over. And maybe beyond. We don't know. We have no idea. He was locked up, based on that timeline, he was locked up after the last Halloween. So maybe maybe it's not a Halloween thing. Maybe he will just kill if he's allowed. So definitely excited to watch that again and kind of watch them back to back, and I did that last year in the theater when it came out. They showed Halloween and then did the new version of Halloween right after, and it was amazing. Super exciting. But Demon Knight is another one. I said The Fog. Demon Knight is another one that is essential Halloween viewing for me. I don't know why. It's such a summery type movie. It's very hot and sweaty, and I would say that's more of a summer horror movie essential for me, but I love it. I have to watch it around Halloween every time. Ghostbusters, definitely another one. Who doesn't love Ghostbusters? You all do. Anybody who's listening to this, all three of you. I'm sure this is nothing new. But another one that is big for me, that I will watch back to back now, is Fright Night and Fright Night Reboot. I love it. I love them both for what they are. I love that David Tennant coming in and playing fearless vampire hunter. And it's just exciting stuff. Like, I think the remake did such a good job, but it didn't take anything away from the original. The original is hokey in its own way, but it's also terrifying. There's some scary stuff in that, especially if you're a kid watching it. And I was when I first saw that. So, it is essential. I have to watch it every Halloween. Welcome to Fright Night. I love it. Chris Sarandon, when he says that, is amazing. It's just goosebumps down my back when he says it. Another one is just out on the tip of my tongue. I'm losing it. Starting to get tired. But another good one for me is Monster Squad. I was a kid in the 80s. This was huge. This is like Stranger Things from made in the 80s. That and Goonies, of course, but Monster Squad is what I go to. I love it. Halloween, I see my Universal Monsters all in one spot. I do. Now, as much as I love the Universal Monsters, not all of them are essential for me during Halloween. Dracula, of course. Wolfman, definitely. And maybe Frankenstein. It's not even an essential. It's just one that I might just watch if I'm watching the first two. Everything else, throughout the year, sprinkled throughout the year, I'll watch, or whatnot, like Creature from Black Lagoon, again, another summery type movie, like I'll watch during the summer. Now, if it's on, during Halloween, I'll watch it, but not essential. And the big one, which kind of leads into November for me, because of course, getting into the gold months, The Shining, which is, in my opinion, the scariest movie of all time. I love it. I love The Shining. More and more as I get older. When I was a kid, did not faze me. I was like, what is going on here? Oh, this guy goes crazy and tries to kill his family. I don't know why this is scary. I mean, I guess that's a scary concept, but I wasn't understanding it. And as I get older and older, it resonates with you, and I get it. And having read the book now, I love you, Stephen King. Your book is amazing. Pales in comparison to the movie. The movie is beautiful. I am a guy who prides himself on never wanting to lose my faculties, even though I forget everything all the time. And that movie just shows you the descent of losing yourself, losing your identity, losing who you are, losing your mind. And how it can turn into hurting the people that you care about most and the people that you swear to protect. So that is, because it is, in my opinion, the scariest movie of all time, that is essential Halloween viewing for me. But that usually starts the season of watching it. Like, I'll watch it around Halloween, and then it will bleed into November, December, January, whatever, and that one will just always kind of keep going for me. But I do have to watch it in the Halloween season. Now, that's another thing. Comments with what you love. I want to know more essential Halloween viewing. What's out there? What is it that you guys need to watch? I know a lot of people seem to love Hocus Pocus. I don't know why. That's just not my thing. But that's another one. Nightmare Before Christmas, another one for a lot of people. And I was just never a huge fan. Now, Is that to say that's a bad movie? No, it's a great movie. Music is great. Everything is great in it. It's just not an essential for me. I've never been a huge fan of it. But is it yours? They show it on TV all the time, and honestly, I kind of want this to be finally decided. Is it a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie? Where do we fall on it? I'd like to think that we fall down it's on a Christmas movie. It seems more Christmassy to me in that vein. But where do you guys see it? That's just kind of where I'm at. Geek-wise, like, we've had some very cool stuff going on. I wish that I had my partner in crime to play off here, so I'm going to do a short podcast today. Just something to kind of keep the oils burning. But I really want to start interacting. I want, guys, send us stuff. DM us. You can follow the show on Facebook. It's the Scene Snobs. On Instagram, it's at the Scene Snobs. On Twitter, it's at the Scene Snobs. TheSceneSnobs.com. All the shows are on there. We have some of my old reviews up. I'd definitely love to see it. Some new movies that I'm looking to check out. Newer that I didn't get a chance to. Midsummer. I'm gonna check that out. I want to see what that's all about. Heard great things. Finally got to check out the new Child's Play, and honestly, I was not a huge fan of it. It's not that I'm for the original and against reboots or remakes or whatever. I thought it was fine for what it was, but just wasn't for me. I like my evil dolls to be evil, not have a loose chip somewhere. So I'm going to check out Midsummer. There's a new movie, Trick Out. I want to see lots of cool stuff coming out. Lots and lots of cool stuff. So I definitely want to kind of touch base on that, and I want to wait for Casey for a lot of this. There are a lot of talking points I want to go over, but I want him to be here, so I don't want to delve into them too much. If you aren't watching, you have Creepshow. Is going to be episode 5 on Thursday. This show is killing it. This show has been great. The last episode, the second story, starring Tricia Helfer, was kind of I don't want to say predictable storyline, but then again, it kind of felt like a familiar storyline, if that makes sense. It's trapped in an elevator. In this case, it was almost like with a ghost. It was interesting. They did it really well. It felt like it had that Creepshow vibe. Greg Nicotero's killing it. Lots of great stories. The one before that, All Hallows Eve, and the Man in the Suitcase was very cool. I know we kind of touched down on that. They've all been really good. They've been really good. And it's been a fun show, and because Greg Nicotero's doing it, you're getting some really cool practical effects going on there, and I love it. I'm anxious to see, because I think there's only 6 episodes of this, so this is the 5th, and next week on Halloween should be the last, so I'm anxious to see where they go with it. I want more. I want that to be my Thursday night thing. Keep going. Keep making more. Make a 20 episode season. Come on, Shudder, you can do it. We love you. Same with Joe Bob. Keep them going. Keep them going all year round. We love it. But that's another one too. I'm not, Shudder's not exactly paying me for this, but I am a big advocate for it, and I definitely think any horror fan should pick it up. You have Joe Bob's Halloween Hootenanny on Friday, which starts at 9. I will be there. He's going to do 3 movies in a marathon, and it's going to be filled with fun stuff. Casey and I did a kind of a retrospective on Joe Bob episode that we haven't put out yet. I'm still kind of playing away with it because we met him last week, and that was awesome. He's like one of my icons, and finally meeting him was just it's craziness. So I was definitely excited about all that. So lots of stuff going on this week. Everything AMC Fear Fest popped up. Now, I know for a lot of you, you're like, all right, well, yeah, but it's TV edited movies, you know, on most of these channels. That's true. But I need to introduce my stepson who's 7 to horror movies. He loves them. He asks me all the time if he can watch them, and I can't just let him watch. You know, I kind of let him watch like some of the tamer ones, you know, that are, you know, when they're uncut, so that way it's not craziness. But I can't just let him watch anything, you know. So I need those TV edits, and I think TV edits are good. I grew up on TV edits. You did too. So, I mean, it's just fun to be able to flip through the channel sometimes, find something and watch it. You know, sometimes when you're sitting there and you're on Netflix and it's been 3 hours and you still haven't picked anything, it's hard. But, you know, when you're flipping through for TV, you're like, oh, From Dusk Till Dawn, which I did earlier and I watched it. It was great. So that's where I am with that. With that being said, I do want to check out that new movie Eli on Netflix. Trailer looks awesome. Can't wait to see what it's all about. Definitely excited for that. If you guys have seen it, leave comments, man. Tell me what you think, you know, because I definitely care what's going on, you know. And you know, Netflix has been putting out some pretty cool stuff. Not as much, like a lot of other streaming sites have been really stepping up their game. You know, one thing I've definitely loved, a new show that's actually ending this week, I think comes out tomorrow, the last episode, is Wu-Tang, the American Saga. Oh my God, you know, I love Wu-Tang just in general. Like 36 Chambers will be buried with me. I love that album, but this show is amazing, and the actors playing everybody, they knock it out of the park. They're just so good, and it's exciting to watch. Like every episode, like you just kind of see like how they, oh wow, that's how they got this song, and that's how they got this song, and like just kind of like, it's kind of like Easter eggs for the fans and such, but at the same time it's like, all right, this is truly amazing. Like this is an amazing story, and you are rooting for everybody in it. So that's on Hulu. I definitely say check that out. Anything bad I watched, I just want to kind of follow through and review anything I need to review. No. I mean, we talked about 3 from Hell in the last one, and again, I don't think it was bad. You know, if you listen to the last podcast, you kind of know my feelings on Rob Zombie's writing, and I just didn't feel like these characters need to be revisited. But that's just me. Maybe you're all about it. And that's great. Again, comment. Tell me things. Tell me your point of view. I want to learn. I want to know. And that's what I want to hear from you. So, with that being said, I feel like I'm kind of going on, and I want to give you guys a chance to watch this. And next time when Casey's here, we will go back to our normal, probably hour-and-a-half format, and it's just a lot more fun, and we can joke and such. But with that being said, like I said, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Scene Snobs. Casey is on Instagram at Plotimus21 and on Twitter at Tweedine Knight. Spelled like Jedi Knight, but with the TW instead of the J. Yeah, and you'll get all the updates on the Scene Snobs social media and like when new shows are coming out, because we have the 20-minute wrestling podcast, which comes out on Mondays. We have The Scene Snob and Mrs. Scene Snob are doing a new show that's coming out. It's basically handles marriage and just kind of like we talk about things over and over that's going on that kind of affect us, and I don't know, we call it a marriage like that, you know, just a husband and wife trying to figure it out with a mic. You know, we do delve into pop culture and things that we like, and you know, just kind of make it. It's not as, you know, you'll see when it comes out. So like if you're married and you just kind of want to see what's going on with two geeks who are on a mic talking to each other about our marriage, go for it. That's a new show, so that's the big announcement there for that. I don't think I put that out anywhere else. And then got a couple of new shows coming down the pipe. So the channel's going to be full. Now we are on YouTube too, so go subscribe over at YouTube, the Scene Snobs channel. We are there, and we have all our podcasts up there. If you know that's one way you prefer, or we're on SoundCloud at the Scene Snobs channel, or just go to thescenesnobs.com, and we have the videos and the SoundCloud files all up. So please check it out. Let me know what you think. We're excited to get back into it. We're probably going to try and do another episode before Halloween that's going to be a little more horror movie centric. I will get with Casey and we'll find out about that. Otherwise, thanks for listening and take care, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye now.